good morning to you and welcome back. This is Money Monday, your go-to show for financial tips, expert wisdom from financial advisors. You know, tumekuwa tukileta financial advisors all along so that they can teach us ways and tips on how we can unlock success and accumulate wealth as individuals, as a day-to-day person, as an investor, as a business person, as an entrepreneur. This is the right place for you. That is Money Monday. Welcome. And today we are doing a book review that is written by Robert G. And it's by Robert G. Allen. And the book, it's called That is the Multiple Streams of Income. And as you know, in today's uncertain economy, taxes ziko juu, taxes ziko chini, economic downturns are all along zimekuwa pale. What are you going to do? How are you going to survive as individuals? And Robert Allen anatuambia that it's about us. It's about having multiple streams of income for us to survive. And now let's start doing the book review, because their main themes zenye, let's break down the ideas zenye akonazo. Na number one ni yenye ame address, that is the danger of relying on one income. That is what we're going to check. Alafu tutaangalia what he says about the major streams of income that you can have as an individual, as a business person. You know, with the certain economy, ujui vitu zinapanda, probably unauza watermelon, upate taxes zimepanda juu and they're affecting sector yako ya watermelon. What are you going to do? You need to have multiple streams of income that support you as an individual, as a business, so that business is collapse, not collapsing, business ikikuwa affected, at least you know the other business can boost this business. Alafu anatuambia the danger of relying on one income. Number one, life can change overnight. Yeah, that's true. Life can change overnight. Let's talk about that. Is number one, anasema layoff. Number two, anasema illnesses and recessions. Let's say, for example, there's that one business that you rely on. Probably you are a day-to-day person, ama you are a mama mboga, then illness comes. Let's talk about these chronic diseases like kidney cancers that require a big amount of money. You know, let's talk about millions of money for you to be treated. What are you going to do? And you only have that one business. That's why I told you that life can change overnight. Alafu, in addition to that, this is what he says: wealthy people prepare by having multiple streams of income. And then the good thing with Robert Allen, he has given us the multiple streams of income that you can have as an individual. And tuambia, in a life, kwa mtu binafsi, there are 7 major streams of income. Number one, and tuambia, that is earned income. That is from your salary. This goes to what when you're co-employed. Unajua, monthly I'm getting 30k, I'm getting 20k, I'm getting 5k. That is your earned income from your salary. Alafu number two, business income. For those who are businesses people, that is where you get your income. Unajua, pesa ya stock iko hapo, pesa ya kulipa employees iko hapo, pesa ya kujilipa wewe binafsi iko hapo. Because there's a time we had a guest here in Monday, akatuambia, if you want to feel the sweetness of the business, na usijikute unakula pesa ya stock, jilipe kama wanabiashara wengine, jilipe kama watu wenye umeajiri wewe mwenyewe. Pay yourself. That is the business income if you are running a business, any kind of a business. Alafu tena anatuambia kuna ingine inaitwa interest income. Interest income, this is the money that you get from banks. You know, let's say for example you have saved your money, alafu unaambiwa you save your money, let's say for example for 1 year, unaambiwa the annual interest hiyo ni ngapi? 13%. Hiyo ndio inaitwa that is the interest income. Ama you lend someone loan, unakopesha mtu pesa, alafu unamwambia utanirejeshea na hii amount. Hiyo ndio inaitwa interest income. That is what he's saying. Alafu tena there is a dividend income. Dividends, this is let's say for example you have invested your money or you have bought shares in a company. A company itself inakupatia a portion of its profit. Probably kuna yenye huwa wanapeana yearly, but most of the companies in Kenya huwa wanapeana yearly for the dividends itself. You know, you get a portion of the profit. So that is why anatuambia dividend income. You ni shares in companies. You can have shares in different companies. Alafu kuna rental income. Kwa watu wenye uko na nyumba, tuseme you're watching us na umekomboesha watu manyumba, hiyo ndio inaitwa rental income. You know, at the end of the month umejenga the rental houses, unajua kuna watu wenye wanaishi pale, at the end of the month you know they'll give you this certain amount. Alafu anatuambia their capital gains. Capital gains, it's when you sell assets. Let's say for example land, yeah, let's give an example land, because you know shamba venye ulinunua si hivyo utaiuza, because you know the good thing with land who in appreciate. Now by the way we'll talk about peer assets, that is involved now having multiple streams of income. I left the last one, that is royalty income. You know, these are the things that you can do by yourself. You can do by yourself. Let's talk about talents, you know, creativity, arts, hizo ndio zinaitwa royalties. So that is what is saying, that is what the author of the book has meant. There are 7 major income streams that you can have as an individual. Alafu, let's go to another part. After knowing the 7 major streams of income, he takes us to another part, that is how to build these streams of income, you know, gradually. That is what he's saying. So anatuambia, number 1, you don't have to start big. You don't need to have millions in order to have multiple streams of income. You know, for example, you're watching me and you're a day-to-day person, and you're saying, how can I have multiple streams of income? And I'm a day-to-day person, you know, mimi sina kitu ya kufanya, nitaanza wapi? Where will I go? You know, and to me, you don't have to start big. You don't need to be employed earning 100,000 in a month so that you can have multiple streams of income. There's a day that we had a guest here in Money Monday, and alituambia, it's about diversification of what you are doing. Diversify what you're doing. Kama unatengeneza poster peke yake, endo ujifunze mambo ya editing. You know, as a business person, you know, unauza matunda, pale uko na groceries, unauza matunda, unauza watermelon, unauza nini ngine, unauza fruits. Why don't you try kutengeneza watu juice? It's about diversification of what you're doing. At least unajua, apart from hizi matunda, bado kuna ile juice yenye inanipatia pesa, you know. Kama wewe unapika mandazi, why don't you start cooking tea, you know? As a business person, you rely on that business of yours. No. Now, what if an economic downturn happens, you know, inflation iende juu, utafanya nini? Invest in other businesses, ama buy shares in other companies, you know, so that in case something happens to this business, at least unajua this business iko na a strong foundation. Why? You have diversified your streams of income in different places. You can decide, profit yenye ninapata kwa hii biashara apart kwa pesa za stocks, what can I do? I can invest this money somewhere else, you know, in circles, in insurance companies, the different places that you can invest your money. That's why nakwambia, you don't need to start big. You have that idea, find ways on how you can implement these ideas that you have. For investors, there's a guest alituambia that you don't have to invest your money in one company. You know, if you know you have that money to invest, you know, that is another way of money working for you. Why don't you invest your money in different companies, in different places, so that things like inflation, because you know inflation will affect, by the way, sana pesa za interest, because you know if inflation goes down, what you expect ni nini? Interest on loans and interest zile za banks za loans zitapungua, na wale wenye wamesave pesa zao, what is expected ni interest ya pesa zao zitapanda. So what do you do as an investor? There's a time tulikuwa na guest akatuambia that invest your money on different companies. There are different companies that na zingine, and another thing, make sure that the company that you're investing your money in is listed by the government. That is what the guest told us. So for an investor, invest your money in different places so that in case inflation comes, in case there is an economic downturn, at least you're guaranteed. If ninajua pesa zangu nilikuwa nafaa nipate 30%, kama nitapata 25%, I'm saying okay, hata kama imekuwa affected si sana. In B, kama nilikuwa nafaa nipate 80%, ninapata that is 71% peke yake imekuwa affected. At least you'll be safe. There'll be that balance, you know. And that's why I told you don't have to start big. After I told you, start where you are. That is your skills, your hobby, and side hustles. Just as what we have said. Side hustles ni mingi sana. As a young person, probably you're watching. Side hustles ni mingi sana zenye unaweza fanya huku nje, you know. Like there's a person who was, there's a friend of mine that I know. What he amefanya, ako employed. in a business, you know, in a company. Kazi anajua anatoka kazi saa 10. So he went and took an Uber. Akachukua gari ya loan. So yeye akaifanye ikue ya Uber. Na you know that is in Nairobi. So yeye jioni akitoka kazi anabeba watu. You know, that is, at least, let's see, that is another side hustle, diversification of what you're thinking beyond. Alafu tena bado in skills, you know you can do something perfectly. Do you know you can monetize your skills, you know, your hobbies themselves. And then let's tukiendelea anatuambia that is he's talking about the mindset shift. What he's saying here, this is very interesting. Stop trading time for money only. Stop trading time for money only. Probably you're asking yourself, what does he mean when he says that stop trading your time for money only? What he's saying that is you shift your job or activity, is you shift from jobs or activities that you are paid for the hours zenye unafanyia kazi peke yake. Basically, it's about diversification. This means that you're supposed to build odd streams of income that earn you money, even if you're not working for them. That is what he's trying to mean. There are a lot of things that you can do. Si lazima wewe ufanye. Kama unajua uko na gari and this kind shinda pale nyumbani imelala hapo the whole day, you can employ somebody else. Whereas you're working pale, that is, let's say you're employed in a company, as you're working, you know, there's your asset pale nje that is helping you earn another income. Si wewe unafanya hiyo kazi binafsi. There's someone else that is doing. That's why he's saying that stop trading time for money. Stop trading time for money only. This in addition to that, inatuambia that you're supposed to create passive income as individuals. That passive income is money that you earn, not actively, without you actively working for it. Money is working for you. Even investment, you know, that's another thing. And therefore, he continues and says, build assets that earn for you while you're asleep. Which you're asking yourself, can assets earn money for me when I'm still asleep? Oh yes, that is what the author of the book is telling us. And you're asking yourself, which are these assets that can help me as an individual? You know, because, you know, people, it sounds interesting, you knowing that there's an asset that can work for you, because there's a time tulikuwa na guest that tuliongelea mambo ya assets and liabilities, and he told us we as individuals, there are many things that we have thinking the assets, but unfortunately the reality of things, it can still be a liability. Kama letuambia nyumba ni liability, you know, which surprised many of us, you know, nyumba yako yenyewe ni liability. And so which are these assets that can earn you money while you are still asleep? Let's talk about that is dividends. And then kwanza niliwaambia dividends this is where companies pay you for a portion of their profit. You know, na wengi sana hulipa, that is, let's talk about yearly. That is what they do. Most of the companies, SACCOs, zote, who wanalipa yearly. That's when you get the dividends. So why don't you get the dividends? Let's talk about investment. You know, you're asleep, but your money is working for you somewhere else. Alafu another thing that is rental. You can decide, I have this money, ninizajenga rentals, you know. People be living in that house. Monthly, I'm getting money. You're not working on it. You only did that once. So, kumaanisha that rentals pia ni assets. So, it's telling us as individuals, so you should sit down and ask yourself, you know, try to have a reflection, you know. I want to become a great entrepreneur. Do I have more assets? Ama do I have more liabilities compared to my assets? Other assets that can earn you money when you're still asleep, that is, let's talk about the real estates. There's a time tuliongelea mambo ya real estate. But the real estate can earn you a lot of money. You can invest in properties. Not when you talk about real estate, watu wengi wanafikiria ni mimi nikuwe na nyumba. Si must hiyo nyumba ikuwe yako. You can decide to invest in properties. You become an investor in real estate. That's another way of earning money for yourself. Alafu tena Anasila anaongezea, anatuambia that is when it comes to royalties, you know, things that you have invented by yourself as an individual. Those are the assets that can help you earn money. Because talking of things that you've invented by yourself, do you know your skills are things, actually skills, talents, those are things that people cannot take away from you. It means that is your asset, and it's supposed to help you as an individual earn money. Alafu tukiendelea, he's giving that is on the book itself. Tukiendelea pages za katikati, he's giving us practical lessons from the book that he's saying that people don't know, people should learn. He says that focus on the real actions that you can take. You know, tukiangalia sahi from what from the since tuanze show tukifanya the book review, at least kuna vitu zenye umeangalia ni realistic, unajambia by the way nimekuwa nikifanya hii and I feel like I can work on this and that. And anatuambia still to add on what he said, actually this is a repetition of what he said. Start a side hustle today. Angalia vitu zenye unaweza fanya sasa. It's good to have a big vision, it's good to have a big goal, telling yourself by the way next year I'll do that, in the next 5 years I want to do this and that. But let's talk about the real action. What are the small things that you can do sai zenye zitakusaidia to become that greater person? Because definitely you must start somewhere, and that's why he's saying success is gradual, you know. Lazima uanzie somewhere. There is a starting point so that ufike pale kwenye unataka kufika. That's why he's saying another thing is saying that invest part of your salary. How can you invest part of your salary? That is what you're asking yourself. How can I invest part of my salary? And another question yenye watu hujiuliza, where can I invest part of my salary? Most of us we don't invest part of our salaries, you know, because sometimes the money then tunapata, it sounds too small, alafu tena unapata the needs themselves ni mingi. And that's why there is a time we had a guest here in Money Monday akatuambia, so that you can be able to plan your money vizuri, realize what are the needs, what are the wants, what is the vision. Because by the way, you know, when it comes to your salary, your vision pia inafaa, there is a percent of money inafaa kukaa up for the vision itself. That's why natuambia invest part of your salary. So we are going for a short break, then we come back, we'll continue to do the book, the review, and understand how can I invest my salary, where will I invest my salary, and then we get to understand the strength and the weaknesses of this book. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Money Monday. Still we're doing the book review, that is The Multiple Streams of Income, written by Robert Allen. And before we went for a break, nilikuwa nimwambia when he come back we'll check, because he's telling us tuliachia hiyo part here where he's telling us invest part of your salary, of your monthly salary, and you're asking yourself, should the investment be part of it with the tough economy? Nita invest sangapi, you know? And you're saying probably, bado unajiambia things are too expensive sahi for me to invest money, you know, kama si save basi nita invest, you know. But we have had guests here in Money Monday now tuambia it's very important for you as an individual or a business or a day-to-day person to invest. But before you invest, there is a first step yenye lazima utamake, that is saving. And then after you have embraced that culture of saving, at least now you can say, I think I'm ready to start investing money. Na usiinvest pesa ya chakula bedhe. Kuna watu wenye unajua hiyo tuki yenye uko nayo hiyo ndio pesa ya chakula, then you invest that money. Then after invest, mashida zinakuja, whatever, umekosa chakula, you go and take that money from the place that you have invested. It means that we need planning. So planning is very, it's actually, planning is a key thing. So you can invest part of your salary, but before you start in the whole plan, there are a few things that you're supposed to consider. Number one, what are the needs? What are the wants? Because sometimes unaweza pata, I don't know if you ever got yourself in a situation. Let's give let's say you have 30,000. Sometimes if you don't have planning, you feel like the wants, they sound like they are the needs. And actually they sound so, actually they are very urgent. Sijui kwa ni most of you time yenye uko na pesa, hizo wants zinakuanga very urgent. They sound so urgent. I don't know why. So it means that you need to identify, these are the needs that I want. If you're a family person, these are the needs. This is what my family wants, you know. These are the wants. Wants are things that you can live without them, you know. Things that huhitaji immediately things that you can postpone, you know, for a later day until you get that money to satisfy that urge that you want, that thing that you desire to have. Actually, wants and the desires that you have as individuals. That's why anatuambia invest part of your salary. It means that kwa salary yako kunafaa kukuwa na pesa ya saving na kunafaa kukuwa na pesa ya investment. You know, investment, there are different places, by the way, that you can invest your money, and you're asking yourself, which are these places and how? Number one, the stock market. But sahi kwenye unapenda kubuy the shares kwa the stock market ziko chini sana. You can go and check out and buy them. The stock markets, you can become a shareholder, you can buy shares. Say at least they are very cheap. Number two, kuna real estates. Niliwambia tu, you can invest in real estates. Unasema, si must ukue na building, this is a remainder. You don't need millions, you know, unasema, for me to have real estates. No, you can become an investor. There are different people who are looking for investors. You can invest in real estates. Alafu, another thing, let's talk about the retirement plan that has been provided by the government, you know. For example, even we have do you know the NSSF bado is kinda, okay, it's a saving, but it's an investment, because at least it's helping you in at some point. So you won't feel the tangible results of it. You'll be like, why the government forcing us, you know, why must I do this, you know, must I be part of this? You feel like the government is forcing you more. No, it's because they understand the relevance, the importance of having this plan as an individual, especially if we're employed. We have that, the retirement plan, kuna the pension plan in the government. Probably you are watching us and you don't know, you don't have any details when it comes to the pension plan. Ingia pale tu kwa social media uangalie, do a research about the pension plan. It's really helping a lot, because you know this is an investment that you're making, so that ikifika ile siku ya kuretire, you have something that can save you. Because most of the people, it actually there's a time to look one and get up and tell statistics says that many people, they struggle after they retire. Why do many people struggle after they retire? Planning is the key thing, you know. That's why I told me, invest part of your salary. If you don't plan, it means that you don't invest. And that's why the guest alikuwa anatuambia that many people struggle a lot when it comes kwa mambo ya retirement plan. When it comes to retirement, where you have been living a good life, you know, for example, your kids have been going to these luxurious schools, but wait till you retire. Life strikes hard. Why? Because you did not invest part of your salary. You did not save part of your salary. Other places that you can invest your money, that is business ventures. You know, you can invest your money in these small SMEs businesses. You know, SMEs businesses huku nje ni mingi sana. You can decide to invest in these businesses. Ama wewe pia wewe uko na biashara yako hapo nje, you can invest in that business or on another business. And but remember, guys, alituambia, if your business haijamaliza that is approximately 5 years, it is not advisable to invest on other businesses. Or 3 years, that is the least in Sema. It is not advisable, because your business, for you to invest on other businesses, it means that at least you have the capacity to support your business. Your business, it has a strong foundation that in case the economic downfalls and downturns zinakuja, that business can support itself. So those are the things that you're supposed to consider. And another thing, Anatombia, this is the key thing. Oh my goodness, I love this. Invest part of your salary. Education. Invest in learning, you know. Education is the key thing. Akitumia invest part of your salary, monthly salary, kuna kitu ingine nye ameongezea hapo. That is education. You're asking yourself, how will I invest in education? Why do I need education? You know, with the current world, things are changing every day. Utajikuta, there is a current position somewhere, but you don't have the skills, you don't have the knowledge. And you know, it's not easy doing something that you don't have the knowledge about it. You really need that knowledge. You need that wisdom about that thing that you want to do. You know, kama ni kukua daktari, you know, you have that vision. How will you become a doctor if you don't invest on it? You know, Or let's say you're a business person, ulimaliza shule, umeza form 4, but you didn't get that chance to go to school, but at least now you are lucky, you're a business person. Why don't you take a part of your salary? Ama you're employed somewhere, umeza form 4 and now you're employed somewhere, you're working, you've been working. Why don't you invest part of your salary in education, so at least you can have another skill that can still employ you? Because you've said you can monetize your skills on what you're good at. Let's say for example you're good at art, you can monetize that. You know, wewe unajua kushona viatu, you know, you can invest in that. Unajua kufanya nini nyingine, you know, like you have this interest in becoming a barber. You can invest when you let's say you do a short course, you're 6 months, then you employ yourself, you open your barber shop. At least you see you're employed, but you have opened another business that is working for you. Tulisema money working for you. You don't have to do that business, you know, it's a passive income. The money that you're getting it without you actively working for it. You know, these are the different ways that you can invest the money. I love to another thing, their bonds. Government bonds, these are the places. Government bonds are for that. There is a guest tulikuwa hapa anatuambia enda sana kwa hizi za insurance, you know, bond investments. The one thing, it's safe. Why? Because it's identified by the government. Now mostly government businesses, the government itself ndio inapeananga mambo ya bonds. So you can decide part of my salary inaenda, let's say for example 3% or 5%, unajua mimi nina invest kwa bonds. And after the good thing with bonds, one thing that people don't know, iko fixed. So you see pesa yenye unaweza toa. So when you decide as an individual, I want to invest in bonds, it means that number one, there are a few things you're supposed to consider. Why do I want to invest my money kwa bonds? It is because, let's say for example, you have this specific objective. In the next 2 years, I want to have this kind of a business, and this business needs this kind of money. Na umeangalia kwa bonds, umeangalia government inakupea, let's say for example 13.5% when it comes to the bonds. Na ukipiga hesabu uangalie, in the next 2 years utakuwa umepata hiyo pesa. You'll be having your money there, na kuna hiyo pesa interest yenye utakuwa umepata from the government bonds. At least you know you're confident, unajua if I want this kind of a business and I need this kind of money, if I invest kwa bonds, your money is safe. That is number one. Number one, your money is safe. One, the government is involved. But hakuna kitu yenye hapo kwa, when it comes to the government, at least inakuwa guarantee hakuna mambo ya wash. And that's what tulisema, before you invest as an investor, you're supposed to check, is this company listed by the government? Yes or no? Is it identified by the government? Is it certified? At least for this, it's safer because the bonds are certified by the government and they are listed by the government and they are owned by the government. That at least gives you confidence as an individual, as a person. And then there's another thing. Let's talk about insurance itself. You know, akituambia that is invest part of your monthly, of your salary, of your monthly salary. You can still do insurance, because when it comes to insurance, that is another key. Investing part of it. Let's talk about health. You know, what to say, like, actually these are the questions that many people say. Why would I invest in insurance? Kwanza kwa mambo ya health, na najua sitagonjeka kila siku. Unajiuliza kwa nini nifanye hivyo? Why should I go to insurance? You know, why should I invest my business? You know, why should I invest my car? You know, why should I invest this and that and that? You know, and actually insurance is securing securing unforeseen risk. So it means most of the risks zenye watu, hakuna mtu mwenye usema mimi nataka biashara yangu ibiwe, mimi nataka gari yangu ipate accident, mimi nataka nipate cancer. No one have that. Hakuna mtu mwenye anakuwa na that negative mentality. Wait till it happens. That is when you be like, I wish I could have invested in insurance. And after the good thing with the insurance, the contract yenye mlikuwa mmesign, they kama, let's say for example kama ni health, hakuna wale mtasumbuana na wao. In case this risk has happened, they insure you immediately. That's the good thing with insurance. And the good thing with insurance, pia hapo kwenye tuambia invest part of your salary. There are some companies, there are some insurance companies, when you invest your money, unaongezewa additional top up your health insurance. Probably you don't know that. Probably you're watching and you don't have that idea. So the good thing, your money is insured and still umeongezewa health insurance. That makes it safe. for a business person, when you insure your business, when you invest your money iende kwa insurance to secure your business, in case theft happens, at least unajua itakuwa recovered, you know, in case fire happens. Hakuna mtu mwenye useme anataka biashara yangu ingue. In case hiyo biashara yako itaungua, at least you are guaranteed, at least you have confidence that there is someone itaenda nipate hiyo pesa ya biashara. At least I'm sure that I can restore my business again. For the cars, at least wewe unafanya kazi ya Uber, you know, kazi yako ni kubeba watu pale nje, you know, that is that is where you get money to survive. In case that car get accidents ama scratches, you know, at least you're guaranteed hii gari itakuwa restored and my business will not be affected. Why? You have invested part of your salary to securing your business. So these are the things that we as individuals we forget to check out, you know, to check out as an individual. And then there is another thing yenye anatuambia that is Robert. Anatuambia that invest your profit instead of upgrading your lifestyle as an individual. You know, invest your profit instead of upgrading your lifestyle. I know as individuals, there is that urge, there is that desire of having a good life, you know, of living a luxurious lifestyle, you know, of, you know, let's say for example you're a young person, you really want to explore everything, let's say everything, you really want to experience this sweet life, you want to have these cars, you want to do everything that sounds so good and sweet. But anatuambia that invest your profit instead of upgrading your lifestyle. Instead of upgrading your lifestyle as an individual, do you invest your profit? Let's talk about for businesses, for the businesses, because wewe umepata profit ya biashara, what do you do with that profit? Do you take that profit unasema because hii biashara niko na pesa ya stock na bado kuna profit juu yake, what do you do? Unasema because the business imejirudishia profit, at least I'm guaranteed stock itarudi, so hii pesa ya profit I can decide to buy clothes, I can decide to kuhamia nyumba ya let's say nyumba yenye, I don't know, nyumba ya gorofa, you know, unahamia uko Tatu City, watu wa Nairobi. You decide that is the kind of lifestyle that you want. Na hiyo ni pesa ya biashara yenye unatumia. But you're told that invest your profit. Why don't you invest that profit in another business or in another, let's talk about the circles. You can invest your money in different ways, especially kwa mambo ya biashara. At least you are guaranteed the money is working for me and the business is working for me. These are the things that you're supposed to consider as a person. Alafu tena akiendelea na tuambia that this goes to those who are employed, especially those who are employed. And tuambia that stop living on a paycheck as individuals. Stop living on a paycheck. Okay, actually lakini ambi watu waache kazi. Unajua the people wanasema that tulisema muache kazi. Atuambi tuache kazi. What is trying to mean that it's okay to be employed. You know, there's that paycheck that you're getting monthly. But what he's telling us, we're supposed to think beyond as individuals, you know, as an individual who is employed. You're supposed to think beyond. What if hii kazi kisha? Utaenda wapi? What will it do? You know, what will be your plan B? Ni hiyo kazi tisha, then you'll think about a plan B. Or it's high time we start taking actions. That's why I want to start taking simple actions. You don't need to make big actions. You don't need to make big steps. You know, so that's how you're supposed to reason, you know. Let's say as an individual, wewe umeajiriwa na TSC. TSC leo wasipolipa, what are you going to do? Are you going to take another loan so that you can cater for your family, you can survive? What are you going to do? You're employed in this good company that is paying you pesa mingi sana, nzuri sana. But what if that company shuts down? What are you going to do? What will be your next plan? What will be your plan B? That's why I'm trying to stop living on paycheck, you know. What he's trying to tell us ni you're a teacher, but you know you're good when it comes to entrepreneurship. Why don't you open another business, you know? You wewe umesomea mambo ikifika kwa mambo ya madawa, you know. No, you know you are good at that, but you're employed somewhere else. What if you open your own chemist? You know, at least that leo nikifutwa kazi, I have something that is helping you as an individual. You know, actually, do you know, when it comes to, when you do that, when you have that mentality entrepreneurship, it will help you as an individual. As a, let's say you are employed, at least you know you can invest your salary na kuna pesa ya biashara yenye inakusaidia. That is why he's telling that us that we don't have to live on paychecks, you know. At least probably masiku zinaweza kuja useme, you know what, I feel like now I can stop becoming an employee and become an employer to other people. You know, I can stop becoming an employee and employ myself as an individual and become a business owner. Actually, that is what he's telling us. Becoming a business owner. Alafu tena when he continues anatuambia that that what he's telling us, he's encouraging us to have this financial freedom. How do you have this financial freedom if you don't have the knowledge? So, and to me, we really need to learn from other people, other businesses that have succeeded out there, because they're big businesses that have succeeded. But still, anatuambia, when it comes to kuangalia hizo biashara zime succeed, remember, there are businesses that fail. And most of us as individuals, we don't check on the businesses that fail. We're so quick. Ukisikia tu mtu ametajirika, amepata, amefungua this big supermarket, you're like, that is the person, that is the mentor that you are looking at. Then you forget this business that failed. You had this story of a business that failed. You still can learn from that business, especially if you know unafungua biashara kama hiyo. And that's why we need to live in financial freedom. And financial freedom comes from having this knowledge. Read books. There are many books on social media that we can read out here. You know, learn from these people who write their stories on social media on how they started, on the journey, on the challenges, at least so that if you're planning to become an entrepreneur, if you're planning to diversify your business, angalia, if you are planning to have these big supermarkets, look at the big supermarkets zenye wame diversify and they have many branches out there. Look at what they are doing, you know, because they show their place on social media. Kuna stories mingi sana, go and read those stories, at least zitakusaidia. Alafu anatuambia it's good as an individual to take action over dreaming, you know. That's why we usually say you can have an amazing dream, you know, having these big supermarkets, having this, you know, wewe ni mtu wa Uber, you know, having this big business, becoming a big entrepreneur. But he's telling us action over dreaming. So, anatuambia number 1, stop procrastinating as an individual. Kazi yako ni kusema postponing things, nitafanya kesho, nitafanya leo, nitafanya kesho. You never do that, you know. Nitafanya hivi, nitafanya leo, you know, nitasave kesho, nita-invest kesho, you know, I'll do this and that, I do research, I read books. Please, he's telling us stop procrastinating as individuals. That's why he's saying action over dreaming. Wewe unasema utafungua biashara, unasema in the next 3 years I want to have this big business, I want to have this, I want to buy a land, so that probably you want to dive in the world of agribusiness, you know, the world of agriculture. Unajiambia that in the next 5 years I want to have this land, na nikuwa nimepanda, nikuwa nimeemploy watu, mimi nikuwa supplier wa mchele, you know. That is a dream that you have. But he's telling us to have action over dream. If you want to buy a land, there are different places where you can invest your money, different insurance companies where you can invest your money. In the next 5 years, you're guaranteed that you'll get this interest ya pesa yako, and at least your money is secure. That's why he's telling us action over dreaming. So stop procrastinating. And then anatuambia, after you stop procrastinating, this brings you to this point here, making small steps as an individual. Let's talk about making the small steps, embracing the small steps. And that's why according to me, you don't need to start big, because many of us want to start big. We want to feel kama ninataka kuanza duka na supermarket, mimi nasema tu sitaki duka kidogo, nataka hiyo supermarket. It's okay to have that big mentality, but why don't you start small with that small shop out there, so that you go pole pole, ukidiversify, and then probably in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, no, I love, don't forget those small steps that you're making. Uta-fail. It's okay if you'll fail, but that helps us learning. It equips us with wisdom yenye tukwa tunajua, with skills, you know, with experience. Actually, that is a training ground as individuals. We get to learn. That's why I told me that we need to embrace small steps. You know, that thing that sounds small, so petty, ndio itatusaidia to reach to that big place. Because actually that's why kwantambia, in every success there is a starting point. What is your starting point? That is the question that you're supposed to ask today. You know, you're supposed to ask yourself, what is my starting point? What am I doing? You know, what are the things that I'm doing today? I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to become a great investor. Are the things that I'm doing today, are they complementing the vision that I have? Are they complementing the dream that I have to become successful, you know, as an entrepreneur? Hizo vitu zenye unafanya, are they complementing, you know, becoming that great entrepreneur? When it comes to your skills, are you working diligently on them? Because alituambia that when it comes to realities, the places, when it comes to royalties, alisema that those royalties ni assets, na alisema kwa assets, your skills are part of the assets. So are you working hard on your skills, making sure that they grow each and every day, that they become perfect each and every day, so that you can monetize them in the future? And life retainer, he's akoyo part still ya action over dreaming. Anatuambia dreams inspire you and actions build your future. So it means that just like the way gari inahitaji mafuta ndio iende, alafu kuna wewe unaendesha, dreams inspire you. It's okay to have dreams. Actually, by the way, if you don't have dreams, ebu kaa chini ujiulize, what's my future? What do I want to have in the future? That's why he's telling us dreams inspire you, action build your future. Na kwa hiyo action, that's why anatuambia hapo kwa action build your future, it's talking about more of the small steps that you make as an individual, as a day-to-day person. Let's talk about you as a day-to-day person. You know, let's say for example you go out there, you work, you get 500 shillings, and in the future unataka kukuwa na hii biashara kubwa. What will you do? Let's talk about what he said, that is saving, investment. And that's why we usually say that every coin saved is a step towards financial independence as an individual, as a day-to-day person. That's what's supposed to do. And that is the book review. Multiple streams of income. You should make sure that you get to read this book, because sababu inatusaidia to unlock our mentality and see a different angle that most of us we don't see. That is kwanza anatuambia whether you are an employee or a day-to-day person or an entrepreneur. This is what he says: multiple streams of income will open your mind to possibilities of wealth creation, because everyone wants to have wealth. But remember, apart from having that wealth, there are different strategies, there are keys, there is that wisdom that you need, there is that experience that you need to have as a person, so that you can build that wealth and unlock success each and every day. And that is the book review. Thank you so much for tuning in for this amazing segment. That is Money Monday, a go-to show for financial tips, you know, expert wisdom from different financial advisors. That is let's talk about the investors, let's talk about the business people, let's talk about the entrepreneurs. This is the right place for you. My name is Angela Kabete. I had an amazing time interacting and engaging with you, and also doing this book review was really amazing. I believe that after the show, ukae chini, have a reflection of what you have said. Till next time, bye bye.